In a small town called Brightwood, there lived a young woman named Jamie. Jamie was 25 years old and worked as a marketing assistant at a local company. She had dark brown hair that she usually tied back in a ponytail and warm brown eyes that sparkled when she smiled. Jamie was friendly and liked to help others, but she often felt nervous about her job. The fast pace of work made her anxious, and she sometimes worried about making mistakes. Jamie grew up in Brightwood. Her parents encouraged her to follow her dreams and be strong. As a child, she loved art and spent hours making drawings. In school, her teachers admired her creativity. Jamie also enjoyed playing soccer. She liked being part of a team and building friendships. Sports taught her the value of working together with others. After school, Jamie decided to study marketing at college. She believed this was a great way to combine her love for creativity and her interest in business. College was a big change for Jamie. The homework was tough, and sometimes she felt overwhelmed. However, she learned to manage her time better. She joined a study group and made friends who supported her. Together, they studied hard and faced challenges. This experience taught Jamie about teamwork and friendship. Now, at her job, she faced new challenges. Jamie often felt shy during meetings. She found it hard to speak up and share her ideas. This fear of judgment made her doubt her skills. Her boss, Miss Taylor, was a strong leader. She encouraged Jamie to be more confident and speak up. Jamie admired Miss Taylor but struggled to feel the same confidence she saw in her boss. In her free time, Jamie loved to paint. She found joy in colors and shapes and would often take her canvas to the park. Painting made her feel relaxed and happy. It was a way for her to escape her worries. However, Jamie wanted more than just a hobby. She wanted to turn her art into something valuable at work. She dreamed of designing marketing materials that captured people's attention. But not everything was easy for Jamie. One day, she made a mistake when creating a presentation for an important meeting. She felt embarrassed and feared that others would judge her. This fear of failure held her back. Jamie wished to learn how to overcome her anxiety and face challenges with courage. She wanted to grow, not just as a worker, but also as a person. As Jamie started her journey, she realized that every challenge was an opportunity to learn. She reminded herself that it was okay to feel nervous and that everyone makes mistakes. Jamie learned to be kinder to herself and to seek help when she needed it. This decision to grow became the first step toward her dreams. She wanted to be someone who inspired others. In Brightwood, Jamie was ready to face what life threw at her. With her creative dreams and the desire to be brave, she set off on a path of growth and discovery. The challenges ahead would teach her important lessons about confidence, resilience, and success. As Jamie continued her journey at work, she faced new challenges. A new coworker named Sarah joined the marketing team. At first, Jamie was excited. Sarah seemed friendly and even invited Jamie to lunch. They laughed together, and Jamie felt hopeful about having someone to share the workplace with. However, things soon changed. As the days passed, Sarah's behavior became different. Sarah started making small comments that made Jamie uncomfortable. "Are you sure you can handle this project?" she asked one day, her tone sharp. Jamie felt her stomach twist. She thought she was doing her best, but Sarah's words made her doubt herself. "Maybe it's too much for you," Sarah said again in another meeting, smiling while looking at the others. Jamie felt her cheeks turn red, and she kept her eyes on the table, wishing she could disappear. At first, Jamie tried to ignore Sarah's comments. She told herself that Sarah might be having a tough day. But as time went on, Sarah's words became more frequent and hurtful. During a team brainstorming session, Sarah spoke up again. "Let me show you how it's done, Jamie," she laughed, drawing fake approval from their team members. Jamie felt embarrassed and small. Instead of helping, Sarah's jokes made Jamie want to hide. Jamie felt conflicted. On one hand, she wanted to stand up for herself. On the other, she worried about how that might change things at work. Would her other team members support her, or would they laugh at her, too? The fear of confrontation made her hesitate. Were her feelings valid, or was she just being too sensitive? One afternoon, the team had a meeting, and Jamie was excited to present her ideas for a new project. But as Jamie shared her thoughts, Sarah interrupted. "That's not a good idea, Jamie. You need to think bigger." Sarah looked at everyone else, who seemed unsure about how to respond. Jamie's heart raced, and she felt the weight of doubt pressing on her shoulders. "I thought it was good," Jamie whispered to herself, her confidence shrinking. After the meeting, Jamie went to her desk, feeling defeated. She tried to focus on her work, but the pressure was heavy. She could hear Sarah in the background, laughing and chatting with others. Her ideas are always so simple, she heard Sarah say, and Jamie's heart sank. It felt like all her hard work was dismissed. Jamie's good friend, Mike, noticed her distress. "Are you okay, Jamie?" he asked gently. Jamie sighed. "I don't feel good about my ideas anymore. Sarah makes me doubt everything." Mike nodded. "You have great ideas. Don't let her bring you down. You have skills and talent." His words reminded her of her strength, even if they felt distant at that moment. With Mike's support, Jamie knew she had to find a way to reflect on her situation. She decided to write down her feelings each day in her journal. This exercise gave her a sense of control. It let her express what she was facing. Jamie began to see a pattern. Every insult or belittling comment was a chance to grow stronger. As the weeks passed, Jamie felt the pressure build. Sarah's bullying affected her work and her confidence. Each day seemed like a battle. However, deep inside, Jamie was determined not to lose herself to fear. She told herself that she had the power to change the situation. She would learn to stand up for herself and face the challenges that were ahead. The rising tension in her workplace would not break her spirit. As time went on, the stress at work began to close in on Jamie. Each day became harder to face. Sarah's comments felt like a cloud hanging over her. Jamie tried to do her best, but the negative energy around her made it difficult. Her confidence shrank further with every rude remark and dismissive laugh. Instead of feeling proud of her work, she started feeling anxious and unsure. Jamie noticed that her productivity began to drop. Projects that she once completed with enthusiasm now made her feel trapped. She often found herself staring at her computer screen, unable to type a single word. The bright ideas she usually had seemed to fade. Every time she wrote an email or created a presentation, she thought, "What will Sarah say about this?" This fear made it hard for her to focus, and the joy in her work began to disappear. After a few weeks, Jamie felt the weight of stress pushing down on her even harder. The cheerful person she once was felt far away. She began to doubt her abilities and question if she truly belonged in the marketing team. "Maybe I am not good enough," she thought during her lunch breaks, watching Sarah laugh with the others. Jamie felt so alone even when she was surrounded by people. At home, the pressure didn't leave her. She found herself thinking about work all evening, losing sleep over Sarah's words. Jamie avoided friends because she did not want to discuss her problems. She felt ashamed but also helpless. The journal she kept was filled with her thoughts. "Should I fight back?" she wrote one night, her hand trembling. "Or should I just quit? I can't keep feeling like this." The internal battle seemed exhausting. One quiet evening, while sitting at her kitchen table, Jamie took a deep breath. She noticed how hard these feelings were hitting her. "I am not just my job," she reminded herself softly, yet doubts filled her mind again. What if she never got the courage to fight back? What if she kept feeling like this forever? Reflecting on her dreams, Jamie recalled how she loved painting. That passion felt so distant now. The simple joy of creativity was lost under the weight of her feelings. When she painted, everything else seemed to fade away. Art was where she felt truly free. But now, the fear of failure filled her with anxiety. Could she truly overcome this moment? In the following days, Jamie struggled between standing up for herself and hiding from the problems. She wanted respect, but the fear of confrontation loomed large. Was speaking up even worth it? On Friday, she sat in a team meeting and felt small once again as Sarah made another joke at her expense. Jamie wanted to speak, but the words never came. Silence filled the room, and Sarah's laughter echoed painfully in Jamie's ears. That weekend, Jamie thought deeply about her situation. If she stayed silent, it felt like giving up. However, standing up seemed hard, and she feared how others would react. Caught in her thoughts, she felt the world around her shrink. The options seemed impossible. Jamie wished for a way to feel strong and confident again. She wanted to reconnect with herself and remember the spark she once had. Finding a solution felt like a mountain she could not climb. As the sun set on that challenging week, Jamie sat on her couch, her journal open before her. With tears in her eyes, she wrote, "I have the right to be happy and confident. I cannot let fear win." Jamie realized that with time and courage, she could find a way to lift herself from the shadows. The road ahead was uncertain, but in her heart, hope flickered like a gentle flame. Jamie knew she was ready to take a step forward, even if it was just a small one. The day of the big marketing presentation finally arrived, and Jamie felt a knot in her stomach. She had worked hard to prepare, and this was an important chance to show her ideas. She hoped everything would go smoothly. But as she walked into the meeting room, thoughts of Sarah filled her mind. Sarah had been unusually quiet the past few days, and Jamie wondered if something was about to happen. As Jamie began her presentation, she felt nervous but tried to stay calm. Her notes were clear, and her ideas were good. She spoke confidently, sharing her plans for an exciting new campaign. For a moment, everything felt right. But then Sarah leaned forward in her chair. "That's a nice idea, Jamie," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "But don't you think it's a bit simple?" The room went quiet, and all eyes fell on Jamie. She could feel heat rise to her face as Sarah's words cut deep. In that moment, Jamie felt the weight of all the bullying she had faced. More than just a simple comment. This was a reflection of every time Sarah had made her doubt herself. Jamie's heart raced. She felt her breath quicken. Was this how it would always be? Would Sarah always overshadow her? The people in the meeting looked unsure, waiting for Jamie to respond. Jamie swallowed hard. For a moment, she felt like a deer caught in headlights. She glanced at her notes, but realized she could no longer read them. Instead, burning emotions flooded her mind. "Why do you keep saying these things, Sarah?" Jamie suddenly blurted out. The words shocked even her. A wave of fear washed over her as she waited for Sarah's response. She had not planned to speak like this, and now the silence felt heavy. Sarah seemed caught off guard, but quickly recovered. "Oh, I was just trying to help you think bigger," she said with a false smile. Some team members shifted uncomfortably in their chairs. Jamie could see the subtle expressions on their faces. Were they on her side or not? "I want to share my ideas without feeling small, Sarah," Jamie said in a firmer voice. The tension in the room increased. Jamie's heartbeat was loud in her ears. Jamie felt a mix of fear and determination. Her stomach churned, but she pressed on. "It's not just about the idea," she continued, her voice shaky but stronger. "It's about respect. I want my hard work to be valued." Taking this step was huge, but it also left her feeling vulnerable. She questioned herself again. Was this the right choice? Was she ready for whatever came next? Suddenly, Jamie felt burnt out and exhausted. The pressure of her job, the toxic atmosphere, and Sarah's bullying were too much. Tears filled her eyes, and Jamie blinked them away. "I can't do this anymore," she thought desperately. Something must change. As her voice shook but did not break, she realized that her current situation was unacceptable. If she truly wanted respect, she had to assert herself. At that moment, something within her shifted. She felt the need to stand firm against the storm of doubt and fear. After this confrontation, the room was thick with tension. Jamie glanced around, searching for support from her colleagues. A mix of wide eyes and nodding heads told her that some believed in her and understood what she was feeling. In that pivotal moment, Jamie made a decision. She would no longer allow Sarah or anyone else to dim her light. Whether she succeeded or failed, she needed to take charge of her journey. Whatever came next, she had to face it with clear intentions. This was her moment to fight for the respect and value that she deserved. Jamie felt a new determination rise inside her. Change was coming, and she was finally ready for it. After Jamie openly confronted Sarah, a thick silence filled the air. The room felt heavy as Jamie's heart beat loudly in her chest. She had found her courage to speak up, but now, the reality of what she'd done set in. She could see the startled faces of her colleagues, and her bravado started to fade. All she wanted was respect, but uncertainty loomed large in her mind. Had she crossed a line? Would her words come back to haunt her? Sarah's initial shock quickly turned to anger. "You need to watch how you speak to your colleagues," she hissed, her eyes narrowing. "Not everyone appreciates being called out." Sarah's words felt like knives, sharp and painful. Jamie's heart dropped. She could sense the tension seep into her skin like cold water. The room seemed to close in on her as she fought to keep her composure. What had started as a moment of courage now felt heavy with regret. In the following moments, Jamie felt increasingly isolated. The support she hoped for from her colleagues seemed distant. She glanced around, only to find most avoiding her gaze. Some looked uneasy, while a few seemed uneasy, whispering among themselves. Every whispered word intensified her anxiety. Did I ruin my chances here? The question echoed in her mind as her throat tightened, making it hard to breathe. After the meeting ended, Jamie sat frozen at her desk. Her hands shook as she typed her notes, but the words didn't flow. She realized that she might have just sabotaged her standing at work. Her mind raced back to the mounting pressure she had felt leading up to the presentation. What will my boss think? She thought bitterly. The fear of losing a valuable opportunity gripped her. All the hard work she had put into preparing now felt wasted. As the hours passed, Jamie became more and more overwhelmed. Her coworkers quietly filed out of the office, and soon she was completely alone. She leaned her head against her desk and closed her eyes, letting the consequences wash over her. Guilt filled her heart. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, she thought. Doubts about her actions flooded her mind. Perhaps facing Sarah would only lead to more problems. Was it worth speaking up if it cost her everything she hoped for? The thought of escaping the situation crossed her mind like a tempting breeze. Maybe if I just quit, everything will be easier. But Jamie realized escaping would not solve anything. The fear of failure, mixed with feelings of guilt, left her feeling lost. She wanted to feel strong, but instead felt broken. The meaningful conversation she hoped for had turned into a misunderstanding, and the weight of disappointment pulled her deeper. At that moment, tears threatened to fall. Frustration bubbled up from within. I don't want to feel like this anymore, she cried out softly, her reflection in the computer screen looking tired and worn. Jamie felt trapped between her intentions and the results of her actions. The workplace chaos stood like a wall in front of her. She craved peace, and all she had was turmoil. Yet even as the sadness closed in, something stirred within Jamie. Beneath her frustration was a flicker of resolve. This moment felt dark and heavy, but she recognized that change was essential. Deep down, she did not want to retreat. Instead, she wanted to rise, even if the way forward seemed uncertain. Maybe facing this will help me grow, she whispered to herself, working to reclaim her focus. In her lowest moment, Jamie realized the need for resilience. As she gathered herself, she understood that she had a choice to make, even if those choices felt frightening now. Sitting in her empty office, Jamie felt both lost and alone. Tears threatened to spill as she reflected on her recent confrontation with Sarah. But amidst her swirling emotions, a glimmer of clarity began to emerge. As she wiped her eyes, she thought, "This cannot be how my story ends." With every passing moment, her mind wandered back to the lessons she had learned over the years. Jamie began to realize that she had overcome challenges before. Her college days had taught her about resilience, and this moment was another chance to stand up for herself. Just then, her phone buzzed on the desk. It was a message from Mike, her friend. "Hey Jamie, we should catch up? I'm here to listen if you want to talk." That simple message felt like a lifeline. As she read the text, Jamie remembered their conversations about strength and courage. Mike always believed in her, even when she struggled to believe in herself. Maybe I need to speak with someone who understands, she thought. Mike's support had always helped her face tough times. With a deep breath, Jamie decided to call him. She needed to share what had happened, to lay it all bare. "Hey Mike, can we meet?" she asked, her voice trembling still. "I really need to talk." Hearing his warm response brought solace. "Of course, I'm here for you, Jamie. Let's meet for coffee." A sense of relief washed over her as they planned to meet later that evening. While waiting, Jamie recalled the years she spent trying to find her creative path. Art had always brought her joy, and it reminded her of who she truly was. The sparkle in her painting could mirror the colorful moments in her life. "I won't let one person steal that joy," she promised herself. The thought sparked determination in her heart. That evening, as Jamie and Mike sat in a cozy cafe, she felt comfort in sharing her struggles. "I just wish I could be confident in meetings," she confessed. Mike listened closely, nodding in understanding. "You already have what it takes, Jamie. Don't let fear cloud your talent," he encouraged. "Remember, no one is perfect. Everyone has challenges, including Sarah." Jamie listened intently to Mike's words. Something clicked within her. It was true. Sarah was not perfect. She was just another person dealing with her own insecurities. Jamie realized everyone has fears and battles. Standing up to them was a part of her journey too. That was when she felt something shift inside her. The power of self-reflection opened the door to a new perspective. Overcoming fear would be part of her growth. She returned home later, filled with hope. "I can take this situation and turn it around," she thought, her heart racing with determination. Jamie remembered her dreams of creativity and leadership. Rather than being defined by Sarah's words, she would show her worth. The next day at work, Jamie felt a renewed spirit as she walked into the office. The decisions she had made during her conversation with Mike ignited fire within her. She could choose not just to survive, but to thrive. Sarah's opinions would no longer dictate her value. Determination replaced doubt, and Jamie got ready to face what came next. This was her story, and she felt ready to take charge. With her artistic passion and newly found strength, she began to map out her strategies for the future. Jamie knew her journey forward would not be easy, but she was excited for the changes to come. With each step, she felt more empowered to reclaim her confidence and dignity, ready to shine brightly once more. Jamie took a deep breath as her workweek began. She felt an undeniable change within her. The previous days had brought challenges that now felt like opportunities for growth. With clear intentions, she walked towards the marketing team's meeting room, her heartbeat steady with determination. "I am ready to face any challenge," she whispered to herself, finding solace in her newfound strength. As she entered the meeting room, Jamie saw familiar faces but felt different than before. Instead of the fear that had once consumed her, there was hope and empowerment. The meeting was about a new marketing campaign, and Jamie's earlier ideas were still very relevant. Rather than feeling anxious, she felt ready to contribute. "I will not hide my ideas," she thought. Jamie remembered the encouraging words from Mike. They echoed in her mind, reminding her of her talent and worth. As the meeting began, Sarah sat across from Jamie, a sly smile appearing on her face. "Let's see how you do today, Jamie," she said in a tone that seemed to challenge Jamie. Rather than shrinking away, Jamie felt fire in her heart. She wasn't going to let Sarah's words keep her down. When it was her turn to speak, she stood tall, presenting her ideas with confidence. "I believe our target audience will connect with this visual theme," she said, her voice steady. This assertiveness shocked Jamie. It was a clear step forward. After she presented, team members nodded and asked questions. Jamie felt encouraged by their interest. Her confidence grew with each passing second. After the meeting ended, a colleague named Lisa approached her. "You did great, Jamie. I really liked your ideas." Her warmth reminded Jamie of her purpose and how teamwork was vital to success. Jamie smiled brightly and thanked her, feeling pride swell within her. In the days that followed, Jamie made it a point to build new connections with her coworkers. She joined coffee breaks and began discussing work with colleagues. Slowly, positive relationships replaced the toxic feelings of the past. Jamie discovered that her workplace could also be a place of support and belonging. She felt empowered to share her thoughts, knowing her voice mattered. As Jamie reassured herself and practiced speaking up, her colleagues seemed to respond warmly. The atmosphere shifted. No longer intimidated, she found her place in the team. Jamie realized that she had to honor her gifts, allowing creativity to flow freely. Just like art, her ideas could inspire and impact her world, spreading positivity and encouraging teamwork. Late one afternoon, Jamie sat at her desk and found new beauty in the work she created. The weight on her shoulders had lifted. The moments of anxiety faded like shadows. She reflected on the lessons she had learned and how they could help others too. Perhaps she had an important role to play in supporting her colleagues as well, showing them that everyone deserves respect and encouragement. In this time of reflection, Jamie found a clear path. She decided to organize a group brainstorming session to foster collaboration and creativity among her team. Jamie felt excited about the plan. With this gathering, she aimed to create an open environment where everyone could freely share, much like she had learned to do. With determination in her heart, Jamie prepared for this new endeavor. She envisioned a team inspired by hope, collaboration, and positive growth. Finally, the journey of her challenges transformed into an opportunity to build connections and shared success. Jamie could see the light ahead, and it was brighter than ever. She felt empowered, ready to embrace this moment and take positive steps towards her future, filling each day with purpose and community. This was just the beginning of a wonderful new chapter in her life. The week that followed the team meeting was full of change. Jamie felt a new confidence growing inside her. She decided it was time to set clear boundaries, especially when it came to Sarah. No longer would she allow a co-worker's negativity to overshadow her work. Each day felt like a fresh start, and she was eager to take charge of her environment. One afternoon, Sarah approached Jamie while she was working on a project. Are you really going to lead that brainstorming session? She asked, a hint of sarcasm in her voice. Jamie felt a rush of emotions, but took a deep breath to calm herself. Yes, I believe I can contribute valuable ideas, and I want to hear what others think too, Jamie replied, her tone steady and confident. Saying these words felt like stepping onto a new path. Sarah raised her eyebrows, clearly taken aback by Jamie's maturity. As Jamie moved forward, she felt the need to bring her plans to the attention of her boss, Miss Taylor. She requested a meeting to discuss her ideas for the upcoming brainstorming session and how she and her teammates could foster a more supportive workplace. Miss Taylor welcomed the initiative and listened carefully. Jamie shared her experiences, from feeling anxious to learning the value of kindness and teamwork. Miss Taylor was impressed and offered her full support. We need to create a positive environment for everyone, she stated. Your ideas can help make this a reality. Later that week, Jamie took an important step. She decided to talk to Sarah again during a lunch break. Jamie noticed Sarah chatting with a few colleagues and felt a rush of nerves. But she remembered her new strength. As she approached, Jamie calmly said, "Sarah, I'd like to talk to you. I think it's important we communicate respectfully." Sarah looked surprised but nodded. They stepped away from the group for privacy. "I hope we can support each other at work," Jamie began. "I want to share my ideas freely, and it would mean a lot if we could work together rather than against each other." Sarah crossed her arms, eyeing Jamie sharply. "So you think I've been unfair?" Sarah challenged. "Yes," Jamie replied. "The way some comments come across feels belittling, and I would like us to create a better workplace for everyone." Jamie's heart raced, but she stood firm. She needed to advocate for herself and others. Sarah's expression shifted as she considered Jamie's words. Something in Jamie's tone seemed to resonate. "Maybe I could be nicer," Sarah said quietly. It was the first time Jamie had seen a hint of vulnerability in Sarah. Over the days that followed, Jamie felt empowered to further establish her boundaries. She engaged with other colleagues, encouraging them to share ideas and support each other. The atmosphere began to change. Jamie noticed smiles and laughter returning to the office, creating a real sense of community. However, not everyone was pleased with the shift. A few colleagues seemed resistant to this newfound positivity. They whispered among themselves and rolled their eyes whenever Jamie suggested collaboration. Yet, Jamie remained steadfast, focusing on the supportive team she was building. Jamie's courage inspired others to speak up. As the brainstorming session approached, many expressed excitement. The invitation to share opinions in a safe space was appealing. They appreciated a chance to voice their ideas free from doubt. Jamie sensed the tide of change washing over their work environment. On the day of the session, as her colleagues gathered, Jamie felt alive with hope. She knew that her voice mattered and that she could inspire change just by standing her ground. The atmosphere shifted from one of tension to excitement, sending a message that together they could foster respect and innovation. Jamie realized she had not only transformed her mindset, but had begun to reshape the workplace around her. This was the moment she had longed for, a testament to the power of standing strong and setting boundaries. The day of the brainstorming session was a bright one. Jamie felt a mix of nerves and excitement as her coworkers took their seats in the meeting room. Just hours earlier, she had prepared a few activities to encourage everyone to share their ideas. This was her chance to create something special, a space where everyone felt comfortable to speak up. As the meeting began, Jamie welcomed her colleagues with a warm smile. "Thank you all for being here today. I truly believe we can create great ideas together," she said, her voice steady and inviting. When she looked around the room, Jamie was pleased to see nods of agreement. The atmosphere felt lighter than it had in weeks. To start, Jamie introduced a fun icebreaker. "Let's share something we are excited about, whether about our work or our lives," she suggested. At first, some coworkers hesitated, not used to such openness. But then, Lisa, who had supported Jamie earlier, spoke up. "I'm excited about my upcoming vacation. It is a time to explore new places." Others soon followed, sharing small but meaningful pieces of their lives. This set a positive tone, and Jamie could feel the weight of tension lifting. As they transitioned into brainstorming new marketing ideas, Jamie felt her heart race with anticipation. She encouraged everyone to build on each other's ideas, emphasizing that all opinions mattered. She listened actively as ideas flowed. For every suggestion, she thanked her colleagues. making sure they felt valuable. During a lively discussion about a new campaign idea, Sarah raised her hand. Jamie held her breath, unsure what to expect. "I have something to add," Sarah said, and the room fell quiet. Jamie remembered the tough days they had shared, but she kept her demeanor neutral, ready to support whatever Sarah had to say. "I think Jamie's idea for the visual theme is great. We should also consider adding more colors," Sarah continued. Jamie was surprised at Sarah's praise, but relief washed over her too. Perhaps there was a path toward harmony. Encouraged by Sarah's change in attitude, Jamie felt empowered to suggest more. She brought up her idea for a local community event as part of their campaign. "Engaging with our audience is essential," she said, excitement bubbling in her voice. Everyone started discussing how they could make it happen. Jamie led the conversation, helping them see a common goal. This moment transformed the room. For the first time, they were working as a united team toward a brighter purpose. When the meeting concluded, Jamie received several compliments. "Great job keeping everyone engaged, Jamie," Lisa said, smiling. It felt wonderful to have the support of her colleagues. They left the meeting feeling energized and inspired, united by the creativity that had blossomed. That evening, while reflecting on the day, Jamie realized how far she had come. She had created a safe space, enabling her team to collaborate openly. The win felt small, yet it significantly impacted her growth. Jamie understood that establishing a positive work environment started with her actions. With each successful step forward, she reaffirmed her ability to lead with kindness and confidence. Feeling a sense of peace and accomplishment, Jamie knew this was only the beginning. She had laid a strong foundation by setting boundaries, embracing her voice, and encouraging others. For anyone facing difficulties, Jamie wanted to remind them that small victories lead to greater change. In each moment of courage, there is a chance to redefine the work environment. Just like her, anyone could find strength within and build connections that inspire hope. The road might not always be easy, but with perseverance, beautiful progress was possible. Jamie was ready for whatever came next, and she felt grateful for every step of her journey. As the weeks passed, Jamie felt a remarkable change in her work environment. The courage she had shown during the brainstorming session transformed the atmosphere of the office. People began working together with a spirit of support and positivity. Discussions flowed freely, and Jamie felt proud to be a part of it. However, deep down, Jamie knew that this was just the beginning of her journey. One Friday afternoon, while sitting at her desk, Jamie began to reflect on her experience. She thought about all the times she doubted herself when questions about her abilities flooded her mind. No longer would she let negativity control her life. Jamie had regained her confidence, rising above the challenges she faced. She wanted to remember this moment, a testament to her strength and resilience. With a surge of motivation, Jamie decided to map out her long-term career goals. She began to write down what she truly wanted in her work life. She envisioned herself not just as a marketing assistant, but as a creative leader. Jamie wanted to inspire others, sharing her knowledge and helping them grow. Focusing on her strength in art, she determined to become a person who fostered innovation and collaboration. Jamie also thought about her worth beyond her job title. She realized that true success comes from being authentic and supportive. Making a meaningful impact while helping others would always matter more than just titles or positions. Jamie had found her voice, and she wanted to empower others to find theirs too. She felt a sense of responsibility to help maintain a positive atmosphere at work. The thought made her smile. So, that day she made an important decision. She would approach her boss, Ms. Taylor, with a proposal for a mentorship program. This program could allow employees to share their skills and ideas more effectively, fostering collaboration across the team. Jamie believed that supporting others could lead to even greater success for everyone. With determination, Jamie put her thoughts into action and met with Ms. Taylor. As she shared her ideas, an excitement bubbled inside her. Ms. Taylor listened intently and nodded with approval. "I believe this can have a great impact," she said warmly. "Let's explore how we can move forward." Hearing this response filled Jamie with gratitude. At that moment, she realized she could truly shape her work environment. As winter approached and the holiday season approached, the atmosphere in the office continued to shimmer with friendliness and teamwork. Jamie committed to ensuring the welcoming community remained strong. Every time she noticed someone feeling lost or anxious, she reached out, ready to lend a helping hand. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, she faced them head-on, further strengthening her newfound confidence. As the last weeks of the year came to an end, Jamie took a moment to appreciate how far she had come. She felt lighter and more positive. The toxic environment that once consumed her had changed into a place filled with respect and creativity. Jamie wasn't just a survivor. She was a leader. In that moment, Jamie understood that every challenge brought an opportunity for growth. No matter the obstacles ahead, she had the power to shape her path. The lessons she learned had opened doors to personal and professional advancement. As a new year approached, she felt hopeful and excited about what the future would bring. With laughter echoing in the hallways, Jamie was thankful for her journey. She accepted that progress would not always be easy, but she felt empowered by the knowledge that with each step, she could impact her life and the lives of others. This was only the beginning, and she was ready to embrace every moment of it. As the new year approached, Jamie felt both excited and optimistic. She had worked hard to create a positive workspace, and now it was thriving. With each passing day, she saw growth not just in herself, but also in her colleagues. The mentorship program she had proposed was coming together, and interest was high among her teammates. Jamie felt proud to lead sessions that focused on creativity and support, where everyone could share ideas without fear. In her heart, Jamie knew that this was just the beginning of her journey. She took time to reflect on her personal and professional goals. Jamie envisioned a future filled with meaningful teamwork and encouragement. She wanted to continue honing her skills in leadership while also inspiring those around her to grow. The challenges she had faced were valuable lessons, and she was ready to embrace the next chapter of her life with open arms. One afternoon, as Jamie sat at her desk working on the upcoming mentorship sessions, she received a phone call. It was a recruiter from another company, offering Jamie an exciting job opportunity in a bigger marketing firm. The role promised more responsibility and a chance to work on major campaigns. The prospect was thrilling, but Jamie paused for a moment, reflecting on her journey. This opportunity could mean a significant shift, not just in her career, but in her life. She weighed her options carefully. Jamie remembered her past doubts and how she had transformed her mindset. She knew that taking the leap into this new job would be daunting, but she also saw it as a chance for growth. Would this align with my goals? She asked herself. Could I continue to build a positive atmosphere in a new workplace? Surrounded by her supportive colleagues would be a hard thing to leave, but Jamie knew she was ready for a new adventure. After thoughtful consideration, she decided to accept the offer. Jamie felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she spoke to her boss, Ms. Taylor, about her decision. Ms. Taylor was supportive and expressed pride in Jamie's accomplishments. "You have worked very hard, and you deserve this chance," she said with a smile. "Just remember to carry your positivity with you wherever you go. You will make a difference." Jamie smiled back, feeling grateful for the guidance and support she had received. In the days leading up to her last day at the company, Jamie prepared to say goodbye to her wonderful team. They had built strong relationships, and as she communicated her thanks, she felt warmth and encouragement in return. Jamie knew she had made a real impact and realized that friendships formed through challenges would last beyond this chapter. On her last day, Jamie focused on celebrating the journey they had shared together. They held a little farewell gathering, filled with laughter, good memories, and promising futures ahead. As Jamie left the office one last time, she felt confident and inspired. Stepping into her new role at the larger firm, Jamie embraced the challenges ahead. Equipped with the skills she had gained, she approached her work with renewed energy. She was eager to apply everything she had learned about leadership and positivity. With each project, she aimed to create an environment where everyone felt respected and heard, just like she strived for in her former workplace. In her heart, Jamie understood the journey of growth was ongoing. The obstacles she had faced were stepping stones to brighter days. With determination as her guide, Jamie stepped forward into the future, ready to inspire, lift others, and make a lasting impact on the lives around her. She had proven to herself that she could overcome, learn, and thrive, always carrying hope in her heart.